What's up, everyone? Welcome to my video series here on Rome 2 Total War. You might be asking yourself, why a video on Rome 2 in the year of our Lord 2026? Well, that's a good question, and there's really two main reasons. The first reason is because this is a great game. I absolutely love this game. It's the game that I have the most hours in, and it's a game that I enjoy playing. I wouldn't say the most when it comes to Total War, but it is the game that I enjoy, the historical title that I enjoy playing the most at this point at least. So that's number one. This place is a place for people who love Total War. This is a positive. It's not like some kind of toxic positivity where we don't think there's anything wrong with them. Of course there is. There's tons of bugs. There's shit that annoys me all the time. But this is a place for people who love these games. They're willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, or they're willing to mod shit that sucks out of the game. And that's what I've done here. I'm going to talk about that as we start playing. And then the second reason is because I think that I'm doing something unique. There are a lot of Rome 2 videos. I actually didn't realize quite how many there are. What I'm doing that's unique is I'm running a 12 turns per year. You can see down here, it's January. Super epic campaign with an immense challenge and no cheese. That's an important part. We're not going to cheese in any way. At least anything that I consider cheese. Everybody disagrees on exactly what it is. But, corner camping, setting up fake ambushes, farming, rebels for XP and all these different things. We're not going to do any of that. We're just going to play the game straight. We're gonna eventually start maybe like a little bit of a role play just to add some, dynamism to the campaign. But that's kind of something that I don't like to go into it with a very specific idea, at least not as playing Rome. All right, so the game looks beautiful. Look at it. Look at this map right here. This looks amazing. This is with the MIS Tiny Cities mods, series of mods, and the map just looks amazing. Look at this game, man. It's like, almost a 15-year-old game at this point. And look at it. Now, this is winter. Now, I love the idea of an epic campaign where winter is 3 months. You have to worry about attrition, and you basically have to winter your troops. You can't go off on some offensive campaign in the winter, especially when you're not in, Central to Northern Europe. So I just always love that. So this is going to be a very slow-paced campaign. The movement range has been minimized. The build times have been doubled. I couldn't quite find the right mod set to make it to where it would be like 24 turns, but that's the best I could do. And technology has been also upped a bit. Not quite as much as I would like, but especially as you start getting up here, you'll see these technologies will take a long time. So that's basically it. We're going to play Rome. We're not going to try to play it necessarily historically, like try to expand in any specific way. We're just going to play the game. Now, there are so many mods that add a challenge to the game. There's mods to make culture harder, cultural intensio. There are mods that make Imperium strength harder, politics more dynamic. The only mods that make the game easier is there's a mod for diplomacy to basically make it more realistic, where factions won't fight to the bitter end. They'll peace out. And I also added a mod to make client states better. Basically, they'll give you a little bit more money, and they'll give you more troops, just a little bit, nothing crazy. And that's basically about it. Everything else is designed to make the game harder. There's about 35 mods. I had to take out the HD mods, so there's people playing Rome campaigns where they look a lot better, especially when it comes to battles, where that's the idea, the display, the presentation, but that's not what this is about. This is about the challenge, the strategy, and obviously the game does look good, so that's part of it as well. So, all right, let's get playing. Now, that bug where the ASD keys don't work has, of course, hit me in my very first game, but whatever. We're going to try to get through that for now and just not worry about that. We're just going to try to play the game, and that'll fix itself the next time. All right, so here we are. We got Rome. We are the Julii, the clan that spawned Julius Caesar, the great Julius Caesar. Actually, not a tremendously famous family besides basically Julius Caesar. But that's, we're also going to talk a little history. I'm a big history nerd. We're going to do a little bit of, for the noobs, if you want a little bit of tutorial, especially in battles. This is the one game series that I've stayed very good at over the years, even as I've gotten older. And so that's it. All right, let's rock out. Yeah, let's play, guys. All right, so we got our boy Lucius here, Lucius Lebo, his wife. She's a good wife. She gives us +1 authority. Now I'm using my two mods, which add positive and negative positive and negative stats basically to the 3 attributes down here. So you'll see here the extra things are +8 loyalty for political party, but as you become more, as this becomes higher, that starts to go down. So think about it. The more powerful your character is, the less loyalty you'll have from other political parties because they're jealous. That's why they stabbed Julius Caesar and such and such. That's why Sulla hated people at the end. Same with Scipio Africanus. His tombstone is basically something to the lines of, people didn't appreciate me. So we got that morale -3. It starts to get better as you go up. Cunning also has some stuff. Construction costs. It was hard to think about cunning. There's ambushes, which I did, but then construction costs is basically like you're very slick. You know whose palms to grease in order to get things built. And then zeal is campaign movement range, public order, and replenishment. I think which is perfect, especially campaign movement range. Now the public order goes up, and then it starts to go down the more zeal you have. So let's say you're just like so out for the cause, and you're just like crazy. You have say 15 zeal. The people start to get pissed off because they're like, listen, I don't want to have to come out and work every day. I don't want to have to fight in the militia. I just want to live my life. So public order starts to go down. So that's what happens there. All right, so we are barely known in the Senate. Now we're protected, so for 20 turns there can't be any civil war. So that helps us. I mean, that's just part of the game. That's just a game mechanic, basically. We are using the DEI mod, which has so many features, but I won't get into all of them now because obviously I've been talking a lot here. So we're going to just gather some support real quick. That's going to affect loyalty a little bit, but nothing too crazy. That doesn't do a whole lot. We're still barely known in the Senate, but now we have 145 senators. All right. Not a whole lot else we could do. He has no kids. We hope that we have some kids soon. And then we have our chaps over here. We got the Scipione family. We got the Brutus family, and then Cursor. So let's get rolling. All right. So now we also did a mod where upkeep and money are lower. So basically, it's going to help slow it down. There's not really a good mod to go with DEI that will slow down recruitment. A lot of them mess up too many things. So basically what I just said is let's just raise, everything's more expensive. Upkeeps cost more, and recruitment costs more. So basically I'll have less troops. So to kind of like slow down, the military war machine, so to speak. So it is what it is there. Now you usually start with 20,000. I'm not sure why I don't have 20,000. Did I do something? I don't think I did. Oh yeah, I did. I gathered support. My bad. All right, so why did I just click on that? I want to go here. Oh yeah, technology. So we're gonna, usually I would get these army techs out of the way, these military techs, so I can build new barracks types and whatnot, but we really need all the money we can get. So we're gonna start in the economic sphere, the civil sphere as they say. We'll start with land management. All right, that's one thing. We are going to get some trade agreements. Now, you usually get a little bit of money in these early trade agreements because, of course, we're Rome. People want to have trade with us more than we want to have it with them. Now, they hate us to start, but only because we have cultural inversion. Greetings to you too, pal. I appreciate that. Let's see what we can do here. All right, that's moderate. Let's see if we can get it. No. Now, if you go too many times, which I don't do, I'm not going to lower it one and go, lower it one and go. That's cheese in my opinion. But again, no shade to anybody who likes to play a certain way. No shade at all, guys. It's just this is how I want to play. So that's it. If you try to do the trade agreement too many times, they'll eventually just say no. They'll be like, no, I'm not doing trade with you. So, all right.
I will take.
You're going to trade with them and a little bit of money. The Del Monte, you're going to have to forgive me. I'm not going to be able to pronounce all these names. I mean, I read a lot, a ton, actually. I'm not even trying to, like, humble brag or anything like that. But by reading, you don't learn how to pronounce things. Although I do listen to a lot of audiobooks, but I don't necessarily know how to I don't remember always how to pronounce everything. All right, so as we know, we're at war with Epirus, which is Pyrrhus. Pyrrhic victory, baby. This is Eritrea, which is we basically have to take them out. Both these guys out to solidify the Italian peninsula for Rome. Liguria. Now let's see. It would be nice to have them as friendly start early. So they're high there. Let's see.
and have a point.
And don't forget, if you were really going to trade, it would be like the United States. Well, let's not use that example right now with the way everything's going in the world. You know, let's say you go back to Victorian era. You know, if Britain was the UK was gonna trade with, you know, Portugal. You know, Portugal needs that more than the UK, so they have to grease the wheels a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that's all this is. It's not anything crazy.
But our hearts are full of courage, not lust for gold.
Oh, your hearts are full of whatever I tell you to be full of. All right, there we go.
I will take word of our agreement.
All right, these are our allies right here. Well, they're not our allies yet, but they were in real life. Oh, treaties with Masilla 150, so we get a lot of juice there.
Wisdom, so that you may speak well and persuade me of your cause.
Oh, thank you. I will persuade you of my cause. Let's get some money from you first, though, in order to have a non-aggression pact with us. Since we're tough as shit. Oh, look at that. We still got high, so we can get what? I mean, do we want to get non-aggression pact out of there and see if we can start with like an early military alliance? Oh, they actually want that non-aggression pact badly. Let's go back to that. All right, you know, we'll take it.
We Greeks are a realistic folk, and will.
Here's Carthage, who we're friendly with early. The game has scripts, I think, that once you reach a certain point, that they basically are no longer your friend. Here's Syracuse. Syracuse and Rome traditionally were at war early. Then after, in the middle of the First Punic War, Hero, their leader, became friendly with Rome and stayed friendly with Rome. Very, very loyal ally.
The day is already old, and there is much to do. So if you have words, speak them.
Oh, well, thank you, but screw you. We're out of here. All right, and then we have the Venente, who eventually become Venice. So that's interesting, right?
We will gladly listen to your offers, but do not wrap them in lies. The spirits know truth.
That's fair. The spirits don't know the truth. And the truth is I need money, so... How much can you give me? 1,500? Can you do 1,500? There we go. And a trade agreement. Let's go with non-aggression pact. Actually, I mean, do we really want to be allies with them? Eventually, we're going to take that settlement. Although, we could be... Yeah, let's go defensive alliance. We could be, we could have them as vassals, and we'd be happy with that. But we're not looking that far at all. We're on 12 turns per year. We're, you know, super slow paced. We'll be happy when we beat Epirus. Like, this is gonna be hard. I have it on hard. For DEI, it's balanced to be played on normal. You used to play it on normal campaign and normal battle, but then people started moving it up on the campaign. So I have it now on hard, which makes the campaign, trust me, very hard, especially with all the mods I have, very hard. So I got like 5 trade agreements and I only made about, 700, 600 gold, but we'll take it. We will take it. All right, so now we go. All right, we got Rome up here. We obviously want to upgrade the capital, the ancient capital. It takes 12 turns, which is wild. So it's going to take a year, which is, realistic. It's -5 food, which is not something we're gonna have to deal with immediately. And we need the cultural influence, so we're gonna go there. That takes a good chunk of our money. Now, culture is huge in this campaign because the cultural intenso mod basically makes it much harder to deal with settlements where you don't have your native culture as the dominant one. So in Rome, there is 55% Latin, and then there's Italic, which makes sense, so we gotta still have to try to work to keep Rome Roman. So we are going to upgrade one of these temples. I usually like to go with Mercury because you get 5% wealth, and then you get the 3 public order instead of the 2, and then we get +12 Latin cultural influence. So let's go there. All right. So now we're good down here, up here. Let's go down south. Now, this is Pyrrhus and Epirus. This is basically was controlled by a Greek, basically the Greek city-state. Greek colonists claimed most of this. This is Magna Graecia. Magna Graecia means, I think, like Greater Greece or something like that. But then they invited Pyrrhus over to basically help them defend or beat Rome. So in the DEI mod, that's what they did. They gave this to Epirus, and now we have to we have to defeat them. Now, he has a strong army. He has a lot of Greek pikemen, and he also has elephants, which elephants are tough as hell in this game, man. So that's something that we have to deal with. Eritrea up top, they're very slow to kind of go offensive, so we have time. We got to deal with these guys right here. So let's build up our forces with the rest of our money. So we have Brutus down here, Junius Brutus. Alright, let's recruit some units. Let's see what we got. Now, I'm big on javelin men. Javelin men are very strong in this game. A lot of people don't like them because they have short ranges. And if you leave them at fire at will, you're going to waste them. You basically have to use them very strategically, and we'll talk about that. So I'm just going to go straight up 4 javelin men, assuming that I'm going to have more time to recruit. I can't go 5. Oh, I can do 5 units. Going to do 6. Oh, wow. Oh, what the hell? Jeez, I didn't realize I could recruit so many units in this area. That's crazy. 2, 4, 6, 7? Is there a reason for that? Huh. It wasn't like that the last time I played.
Ready for battle.
That's wild. Oh, that kind of changes things a little bit. Maybe I could be a little bit more aggressive. That is crazy. What's different? Let me see something. Yeah, it's not going to be in here. Let me check here. Public. Our Imperium. Yeah, it doesn't help recruitment. Loyalty. Boom, boom, boom. User faction leader. I know just Rome as Rome, you get 1 more recruitment slot in all your provinces, but Imperium level 2, food surplus. Yeah, I don't see it. Huh. Who knows? I'm sure it's just something that I'm overlooking.
Commander.
But all right, yeah, we're gonna take advantage of it. So I actually hate slingers, but since we don't have archers, they're a good counter to archers actually, because they're long range. So you know what we're gonna do? We'll go. Let's get us a couple infantry, just in case we do fight soon. All right, so we got the Rari, Sicilian levies, got Italian levies, Hastati. I like the Hastati because they're tough, but they're not super expensive like the Princeps or the Terrari. Let's go with 2 Hastati. All right, that helps us out right there. Are we gonna build up anything down here? No, actually, I should probably upgrade one of these culture buildings. How much is that gonna cost us? All right, let's do that. And then we come up here. Now they're in the same province as the army down there, so we actually can't recruit. I'd have to leave Magna Graecia in order to recruit. So, but we're not going to do that because it's winter, and we're getting a bonus from their presence here for public order. So let's see, military characters plus 16. So that's very good, even though it's minus 23 for cultural differences because there's zero Latin culture right now in Magna Graecia, which again is for real because that's what I'm saying. These were Hellenic, provinces before Rome started busting people's asses. All right, so you know what? Let's see. Let's hold on to the 4,000. We're pretty good over here. Characters are all pretty good. Boom. All right. Oh, you know what we can do? We are going to get ourselves a spy. And I also have the same thing with agents. My 2 mods are, I think it's dynamic generals, or maybe it's realistic generals, and dynamic or realistic agents. So the same thing. They do different things, which are very interesting. So let's see. This one, +1 attributes, +1 to all attributes. Wow, that's actually freaking awesome. Damn. So we'll take her. Pompeia Gemella. All right, Pompeia. All right, that's about it, guys. So we did that. All right, let's go turn 2. This is gonna be a slog. I say that as if it's not gonna be fun. I love it. I just think it's so much fun. I love drawn out. When I play, like, say, Civilization, I always play it on Epic and on like a huge
Your
map.
people are wounded by this war.
Interesting.
Now is the chance to end the struggle. Take it or suffer more.
Yeah, I mean, people are suffering. There's no doubt about it. The only thing about this is I would, if I was at war with Syracuse, if I was under pressure up here, I would take this peace treaty. This is what that mod does too. It makes them recognize that they're overmatched. I mean, he's over here. They have Macedon over here. They have the barbarians up here. You know, people just want to fuck them up over here. So that over here, it's like, you know, this is a good settlement for them. They make a lot of money here. It's port, but we're not going to accept this because we need to take the Italian peninsula for us. You know, that's how you start towards the Roman Empire, by solidifying Rome. All right, we're declared. They want a couple barbarian tribes to declare war on each other. All right, let's see. So yeah, so we got our spy over here. So we're gonna take her down here and see what they're doing. All right, so they're just chilling in their little thing. Oh, are they bringing these guys over there? Over there. Oh, I can't see. Let's see if we can get a little closer.
How can I be moving unseen?
Nope. Wow, 14? Holy shit, I didn't think they had 14.
At you, I serve only Rome.
There we go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, that's what I thought. Now, they might be building up. Or they might just be bad intelligence. But look at this. This is a strong army right here, man. This is a fucking strong army. They got the Indian mercenary elephants. The Axemen, who are good offensive troops. They're good mobile offensive troops, and they have ammo. I thought they had ammo. Base morale. I thought they did. Oh, there's ammunition on the bottom. Alright, anyways, they have the companion hoplites, which are good, solid troops. They have, what's their armor? 325. And then they have some cavalry, and then they have, these are fucking great troops right here. So this is a tough army to beat. But we are Rome, and we will do it. No, we're not going to sabotage, waste the money to sabotage them, because we're not really getting anything out of it. And look at Pyrrhus. He already has huge attribute points. Look at that, 7. That means he gets a big morale bonus over us. Yeah, so this is tough over here, but we're gonna do it. As I said, we're Rome. We don't fuck around, and we're gonna fuck them up. All right, so we built up them. We have what, 11 units there. We're gonna do the same here, but we eventually have to move somebody closer. So this is the risk we run. If we say move him out here, and move him out here, he can do the central position that Napoleon will eventually teach the world, and just come at him and look to destroy either one of these individually. And then I'm kind of screwed. I need to be able to fight them together, fight him together. Or I just need to build up one so strong that, you know, I can beat them straight up. But the problem is, again, I'm going to have to leave here and go over here to recruit. But look, the movement range is so low. Now he does have 7, which is pretty good here. So at least he'd have a morale opportunity to compete. Let's see, where is, that's Magna Graecia, that's Magna Graecia, Magna Graecia. Yeah, I have to get all the way up here, which I obviously can't do right here. That's tiny, man, holy shit. But movement range goes down in the winter, so. Where is it? That's faction leader, that's garrison. Where is you see the weather, how the weather affects you somewhere. I forget where though. There we are. Minus 7.5% movement range, which is already on top of all the other mods and shit I have lower movement range, so that's why he can't move. So you know what? Let's build him up this turn. Now down there we have some javelin men and shit. We're going to go with a little bit more of an offensive force. Alright, so you know what? Let's go with a couple Rari. We need... You definitely need some, you know, some cannon fodder, so to speak. Although they're not, you know, terrible troops. They're not horrible troops. I'm going to skip to levies. We're going to go with some Hastati. Let's go 2 units there, and then we're going to go with 2 javelin men. Now, like I said, the javelin men are great. Essentially, let's say I have a Terrari going up against one of his tough hoplites. they're overmatched. They're going to get beat if you let them go head to head. But then you bring up your javelin men and just start unloading javelins in their faces, and then eventually they wear them down and they're out. And then, you get to move in and do what you got to do. So that's what that's all about. All right, let's see here. Anything we can do? We can do a favor. Now we need to have people in our own party so we can start upping their attributes and shit. This is a tough one with Rome. I hate this, how you're kind of left with nobody. But that's just the way it is. Can we hire anybody to our clan? Oh, there we go. Okay, good. We can hire this dude in the Julii clan. Oh, we got 2 people. We got Quintus Strabo. And then we have Medelius Navius Fulo. Let's 10%, 3% tax rate, 1 growth, 1 food. It's actually pretty decent. And 3% tax rate. But this guy is -300, this guy's -5. We're gonna go with this guy. We're gonna hire Medulitus. We call him Navius. We call him Nave. Alright, there we go. Now we got my man's over here. Now he's not a part of our family, but we could adopt him. Right here. Which we will do. Alright, so now homeboy's in our family. Now we finally got somebody that we can look after and, do our thing thizzle with. Like, for example, right here, we can up his authority by, let's see, what's his stats? He has 335. There we go. That's solid. That's solid. But let's up it by 1 by doing him a personal favor. So basically, by doing him a personal favor in the open, it ups his authority because the leader of our family has done him a favor. That's legit. That makes sense. Now his authority's up by 1. Now we're actually eating into all his gravitas. He now has 0 gravitas. So we're gonna have to win some battles with him to show people that he ain't a punk. You know what I'm saying? These guys over here are not gonna be thrilled about this, but right now, that's not really our concern. Alright. So here we are.
We hunger for battle.
He's building up that. So after this, it is going to be February, January, February, March. And in the month of March, we will see what the hell the dealio is. Let's see if they move out of their settlement at all. And they bring reinforcements. So now we're kind of fucked. Now we're not fucked, but we essentially need him to come out. Because now, if we have to fight that whole thing, we're kind of screwed.
Only the greatest dare speak of peace to their enemies. Only the weak seek the death of all.
Alright, now this campaign is a lot different than your normal campaign. Because normally you can just move through half the country in 1 turn. I'd go down here, beat him, and then take everybody up here within like 3 turns. I could be fighting Eritrea. The replenishment's low, so it's much different. So this is something that I could think about, because I don't have to worry about my northern flank. I could just focus on him. And then Syracuse a lot of times declares war too. I could even come over here and destroy them over here if I wanted to. Let me see if I can get some money out of them. Their economy is weak, which kind of sucks. Alright, you know what? We're going to do it if we can get 1,200. Alright, you know what? We did it. We usually don't do that. I actually never do. But this is a different kind of campaign. It's hardcore. It's more strategic. So you know what? We don't have to worry about the North anymore. They'll eventually build up a full army, a 20-unit army, and come down, take on my shit. So your political position is weak. It is your opponents who control the most important decision-making processes in the state. And however happy they seem to be with this, the cost of the situation is significant for you. Okay, well, that's something that we have to change then. So we got Lebo here. Huh. You got a couple Trari, a couple Hastati, and a couple Javelin men. Our movement range is still super low, because we still are in winter. In this game, it's January, February, March is winter, which is fine. I'm not really worried about that.
What do you wish of me?
Alright, let's see. So they brought him over. We got another solid force here. These are actually mercs, I think. Oh, no, they're not. They're Epirotes. Epirote Peltis as well. Huh.
At your service.
Let's see. Let's see. You know what? Let's try something. Let's see if we can get Macedon. Oh, we don't even know where Macedon is yet. Shit. Alright, you know what? Let's send our spy over. Try to open up some of the map a little bit. Oh, no. Damn it. I hate when they do that. That was my fucking bad. I screwed that one up. And I tried to hit. I thought backspace stopped them, but I guess not. Alright, that happens sometimes. You gotta be careful, but it is what it is. Alright, so let's spend then one more turn building up our forces before it goes to fighting season, which I love about this. You know, so it's basically spring, and it's fighting season, you know? So let's get ready. There's a fall. That's spring. Fall, sorry. Autumn, as you guys call it, for the Europeans watching. Hopefully there's a lot of Europeans watching. Hopefully there's a lot of people watching, although I doubt it. But anyway, I hope so. Anybody who is, cheers to you. You're basically my brother. Alright, so let's see. We have a lot of... Alright, let's go with 1, 2, and then let's get one more nice, strong unit to help our Terrari and our Princeps here. Let's go to Princeps. You know what? We actually could use some more cavalry, but that's expensive, man. 240 a turn. Alright, you know what? Screw it. And then let's go down here and get what we can get. Alright. Alright, folks. We're working towards fighting season. Let's go one more turn here, and then we're gonna start moving. Alright, good. So, oh wow, they're moving everybody over here. They're not fucking around. So you know what happened? They tried to get peace with us. We declined it, and then Pirates like, fuck this. We're just gonna go at them with everybody. So that's why I want to send my spy over here so I can meet some of these Greek states, and then I can try to get some of them to declare war on Epirus. Right now, their flank is apparently fine. What do we got here? A spy tells you that a politician from a rival party is plotting your assassination. What do you do? Jail the suspect, promote the suspect. The consequence of, you know, right now, since we're kind of weak, we're going to promote the suspect. Maybe that's a little bit of a bitch move, but that's what we're going to do. We also have the events mod, where there's random events that happen. I love it makes the campaign much more dynamic. Political power is average. All right. Admittedly, putting your decision in blah, 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 requires support for your opponents as well, but it's mostly a matter of time and money. I completely agree. All right, so they just moved up with the little force. They still have their big force, and now they're bringing these guys over. I got my spy up here now. I kind of wish I had my spy. You know what I'll do? I'll move my spy over here.
As you command.
I mean, by the time he gets to Baston, it might not even matter,
I
but...
shall rest a while.
Because hopefully I have this finished. Man, they got a full fucking army here. And then they also have the garrison here, because this is the capital. So yeah, this would be really tough to take. Now, this might have been a mistake, though. He came forward with a small army to kind of fill out the situation. We have Legio 1, which is First Legion, basically. Now, if I move him forward, it's not going to matter, because he's obviously going to retreat. And my campaign movement is shitty still. 50 replenishment, 10 campaign movement. I mean, it's low all around the board in this game, in this campaign, so. Alright, let's move him there, and let's move him there. This will give us enough leeway to retreat if he comes out. Although I kind of wish I had a little bit stronger force and I could fight the main army. If I had 17 units here, I would fight him. And at the very least, batter the shit out of him before I, lost. Alright, so we got this. I got economy here. What do you get? +2 agriculture wealth. What was that? Wealth from agriculture and agricultural bill and construction costs. Wealth from all commerce. 2% tariff income from trade agreements, which is actually pretty good because we have a lot of trade agreements. 3% wealth from agriculture. Alright, so this is basically you get a lot of money from agriculture. And then you get 3 food. That's actually very helpful. And here it's all agriculture. I mean, that's, it was an agrarian economy, but there is a lot of trade to be had, so I'm not seeing a lot of bonuses from trade. There we go, 4% trade tariffs. This is at a time when tariffs were something that people did. I won't say anything else about that. Alright, if you're watching this, don't get mad about that. It's just a little joke, no big deal. Alright, let's see here. Here's scholarship. You get a library. And then this is like to help you with your internal politics, basically. And then here is construction, which obviously is self-explanatory. Let's go with economy. Let's do it right there. Alright. So now he's moved up. He's moved up. I can't recruit anybody else? Oh, because I'm in enemy territory. But here I'm not. But we are running low. Look at this. We're only making less than 1,000 a month. So let's go with... I mean, 13... we can... Yeah, we already have the companion cavalry. You know what? Let's go boom. Boom, boom. Alright. Now we're just gonna... We have shit tons of missile troops just to wear down. No, you know what? No, I'm not gonna do them. Let's go. Boom. Alright, that's it. We're gonna be bankrupt basically, but that's what we're gonna have to fight. So let's see what happens here, folks. I forgot to look at the notifications for this month. Excuse me. All right, so this is what I was talking about. All right, so they come up. They have 3,300 troops. This is Pyrrhus, fucking badass. Look at this. Look at all these bronze shields he has. This is tough as shit. I mean, I would need fucking 20 javelin men to break that, but I should be able to get back farther enough. He's not going to be able to get back in time. So let's see what happens here. Oh, he is fighting me. There we go, and I got the assistance here. All right. This is interesting. Now I have about equal troop strength number, although strength is not even close. They have a couple shit units down here, but the majority of these units, yeah, these are levies. So actually, you could argue that maybe about half of his force is not great units. And then they have this elephant right here, which is, they're tough as shit. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, we're obviously going to fight it. I mean, we have no choice. The computer thinks we have no chance. These units aren't going to do much. They're basically, fodder. We do have some slingers. I wish they were archers. Some town guard, and then one swordsman unit. And it's not a very strong garrison, to be honest with you. Wow. I mean, at the very least, we're going to bloody him up. You know, we have the one Equites, which I'm glad I recruited them. Because I'm going to have to get around and basically take out his archers, which he only has one. They only have one missile unit? Yeah, they only have one missile unit. Wow. Alright. Yeah, we think we're going to be able to win this one. So let's hope so. But, I'm going to save it and actually cut it off here. Because it's running pretty long. I usually would like to do like about an hour, but it's getting late even in my life too. So, guys, if you watch this, I appreciate it. I know this is only for the niche people who love the game, who love strategy. So if you're here still watching, man, you're my peoples. So tune in for part 2 as we fight this battle. And basically our goal is to win. I think we can win the battle, but at the very least, we're going to bloody the hell out of him so that our brother from the south, that's Scipio, can come up and cause some damage. So that's our goal. Let's see what happens here. All right, guys, thanks for watching.